everyone, Viv here, hope you're all keeping well. Out here in my very cold garage, it's night time, it's about 11 o'clock at night and it's freezing cold. But I've been shunted out here into the garage now. The house is finally sort of getting into some order. Got the gym and stuff set up the other day. So I had to move a whole bunch of stuff from the spare room out here into the garage to set the gym up. And now I've got to start clearing out the spare room, or the guest room, so we actually have a guest room. And anyway, I wanted to ask everyone what sort of wargaming magazines they read, because I got a message the other day from someone talking about White Dwarf, how it had changed so much and had become nothing but basically a glossy advertising magazine for Games Workshop. Excuse me. For Games Workshop, which is really much of a muchness because they're catering for a market that is obviously interested in their games. They want to know more about their games, they want to read battle reports and all that sort of stuff. So, fair enough, Games Workshop and their White Dwarf magazine have a specific market. That's their market, just as Privateer Press have their No Quarter. It's full of stuff about War Machine and Hordes and battle reports and painting articles, and it has nothing to do with anything except Privateer Press products. But, having said that, I came across a White Dwarf from in the shop the other day when I was cleaning up. I've lost the cover unfortunately, but there it is, White Dwarf. It's issue 77 from May 1986. Now, I'm assuming, or I could guess, I could check my Insight stats and all that sort of stuff. I'm guessing a fair number of my viewers weren't even alive in 1986. I was 9 back in 1986 and certainly hadn't gotten into miniature wargaming or the Games Workshop hobby back at that stage. But I wanted to show you this White Dwarf because it's really, really interesting. Games Workshop is mentioned probably 5 times in this magazine. It has nothing to do, pretty much, with Games Workshop. It's a wargaming magazine. For example, if I open the front cover, if you have a look, the first 4 images are all about role-playing books. The second or the third, or what they call in here the 7th page, the 7th page is all advertising for stuff that's not Games Workshop related. Grenadier models. Geez, how many people remember Grenadier models? That was some of the first figures that I ever had for when I used to play Dungeons and Dragons. And coincidentally enough, on the other page is an Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And there's your advertisement for Grenadier miniatures. Flipping over, it's just full of all different sorts of stuff. It's black and white except for the occasional colour advertisement. It's just an interesting magazine. It's Essex Fantasy. I mean, here's a little ad for Johto's, 7th Lawrence Sheriff Street in Warwickshire. Some tiny little hobby shop somewhere. Crackers here. Check out this. Have a look at this. This is really, really interesting. This is a Games Workshop poster from 1986 with their 7 stores in the UK. York, Manchester, Newcastle, Nottingham, London, Birmingham and Sheffield. Games Workshop, the specialists. If we don't have it, then you probably don't need it. Changed a fair bit, haven't they? Just full of all interesting stuff. Here's a letter to customers from Virgin Game Centre about something. No idea what it's about. And one other thing I really liked about this was at the back. Oh, there's so many cool old things in here. In the back of this old White Dwarf from 1986 are classifieds. You could list your miniatures or whatever you wanted to sell in the back of the Games Workshop classified section. In the White Dwarf, sorry. Small ads. Bored on Sundays? Be bored no more. Space oddities. Buy and sell new and used fantasy and sci-fi fiction books and games. So, I mean, I saw this and I thought, geez, I wonder what people are reading these days, because aside from sort of the mainstream other mag that I'm familiar with, War Games Illustrated, I personally am not familiar with too many other wargaming magazines. I mean, War Games Illustrated is now owned by Battlefront, who produce Flames of War, so I hope it doesn't go down the same track as so many of these other ones. like White Dwarf, that were quite interesting magazines, something that you could get a lot out of in relation to the wargaming hobby, and sort of become a Flames of War glossy mag. At the moment it's still full of a whole bunch of historical stuff and ads for everything and different sorts of reviews on conventions and all that sort of stuff. So my question to you is, what wargaming magazines do you read? What's out there? What can I get hold of now that this has become a hobby for me again, and I can sit back in my cold garage and read through some cool magazines that just aren't specifically related to a specific company's brand of products. Anyway, nice and fun and interesting. So there we go. A White Dwarf, issue 77 from May 1986. Editor-in-Chief Ian Livingstone. Some of you probably know who Ian Livingstone is. I don't want to get more further into it. I mean, this was supposed to just be a quick one, but I remember when I was younger reading books by Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson, their advanced fighting fantasy books, which were kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, but no, they were nothing like a Dungeons and Dragons. Well, kind of, yeah, it was a little bit, but anyway. Official Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Oriental Adventures by Gary Gygax. Passed away last year, I think. Anyway, fun and interesting stuff. Have a good night, guys. I'm going to leave you with some pictures of some space painting, some spray paint art that I've started getting into. It's really fun and interesting to watch some of these guys on YouTube create this type of art. So I've started stuffing around. I'll grab one basic picture that I've put together, just with some spray cans, and I mean, here's one that I tried to do a little bit of groundwork with some trees and all that sort of stuff. And this is cool fun, nice and quick and easy to do, but having said that it's easy, it's going to take some practice to actually get good at. So I've done 4 tonight. It's the first time I've tried them. I'm having a great deal of fun, so enjoying a new hobby with paint. So have a good night, guys. I'll let you go now. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. See ya.